Unacceptable. Okay. We're live. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's talking about stuff being unacceptable. I think y'all might have heard that word. I mean, we're in a little early. That way we can let YouTube and Facebook and all the other places know that we're here. And we're running live and we're ready. We're ready, Freddy. We're running ready, Freddy. My grandma's nickname was Freddie. That wasn't her real name. Her real name was Nuneo, which why would somebody name somebody Nuneo? Like that what we came up with? Anyway, that was my grandma's real name, but everybody called her
Lumille?
Freddie. I think huh?
Lumille?
No, New Nail. New Nail.
New Nail was her name?
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Yep. New Nail Bostic was my grandma. And but anyway, people called her Freddie because Freddie's a good nickname, I think, for New Nail. What you think? New Nail
So,
doesn't really roll off the tongue very well either.
um, I think it's unique.
Well, of course, we can go with unique.
Yeah, I think it's unique.
It was unique. Okay, if that's the case, we can buy that. Oh, the market is opening. Let me act like I'm a trader. Okay, let's turn on the chart. We are here. It's Friday morning. This is the last day of the month. We're trading, and some volatility I believe can be expected, just because of the fact that it's the last day of the month. People who will be closing off some of their positions and opening for September. This is not like, usually the third week of the month is where the monthly expirations are, but some people just go by the calendar month. So there may be some resetting of positions just to close out the month, because many, is it September or the end of September that many companies close out their books? Many companies close out their books at the end of September, which is one more month. But I'm telling that, we're starting to work on stuff like that. The market is now open. We have gapped up, baby. We went from down here at 55.92 and we gapped up to 56.16. That's about what, 14 points, 24 points? No, 92 up to 12 would have been 20. So 20 some points. I was right, 24 points. My math still mathing. Yep. So it's jump and run. I believe. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Tiva. I believe it's because the PCE data, PCE data came in. Yeah, PCE data came in pretty good. Well, at least came in flat. PCE came in as expected. Personal income. Wait, where you going? Personal income month over month. Here we go. 0.3% is a little bit more than what they anticipated. Personal spending is what they anticipated, 0.5%. Chicago PMI is happening at 9:45, and 10 o'clock we're going to have revised University of Michigan consumer sentiments. Okay, so that's what's happening today as far as meetings and such go. Let's see if there's something on the investing.com that we need to see if there's any interest over here. PCE stuff is listed there. Chicago PMI 9:45, 10 o'clock. We've got some Michigan inflation stuff. 10:30 GDP now. Baker Hughes oil rig stuff. Those are 2 stars, medium volatility. And then we've got speculative positions. This is futures that gets put on at the end of the day. So it looks like there's nothing else besides that. PMI at 9:45 is a 3-star. So high volatility for the Chicago PMI. That is coming at 9. How we doing? Still loves us enough to let us see Fridays. Thank God he created Fridays. Yeah, all those good things. Okay. Let's see what's on stock market business news. CNBC. Maybe if it wants to populate. If not, we push on, baby. Someone I need to fill in. Okay. We don't need to contend with stuff that won't work. In the morning. We don't want to contend with stuff that don't work in the morning. Earnings this morning, or actually yesterday afternoon, we had Dale, Lululemon, Ulta, Gap, Marvel had earnings. We should look at some of these. Let me put us on our list. MRVL, I think is that one. Ulta, we can look at. Were y'all trading Ulta? Were y'all trading Elf before? Jamie, were y'all trading Ulta or Elf? Elf?
Both, but mostly Elf.
Okay. Mostly Elf. Gotcha. And then this morning we had Frontline, Jinko, and Mini had earnings. You'll see that SoFi trying on the move. I guess something was said about plans that won't be revisited. So I guess that gave everybody the indication that they can go ahead and get rocking on SoFi, because SoFi, a lot of their books is holding student loan stuff, right? Let's see what Adam had to say. Late day, I was looking for a rally back to 56.15 in SPX, and it should be no shock that we're here, 56.15 for the 24th test in 2 weeks. 56.70 through 56.39 is the range, and traders are getting a lesson in range trading. Plan today, 56.05, 55.96, which held our supports. Keeps 56.35 alive, which I just moved it off of there. Direct now, 56.53 above. XXP, the 565 call credit spread, 560 put credit spread, and the gap between these two is 15 points. Let me see if any of these wanted to populate yet. Hold on, Jamie, you're coming to the stage shortly. The VIX is at 15 and some change, 15.42 is where the VIX is, down a bit, which means the market's probably going to be up a bit. I don't know how that goes. I don't know why you don't want to populate. There we go. PCE inflation print hits the mark. The Fed favored inflation gauge met Wall Street expectations, keeping rate cut hopes aloft. U.S. futures climb as PCE inflation comes in steady. NVIDIA's stumble is hardly a reckoning of AI spending. Yeah, I think NVIDIA, I saw something, Janae, or one of y'all posted that NVIDIA is going to do a buyback. And I thought a buyback was a positive thing. Am I wrong? Intel eyes foundry split, other options to halt losses. Jamie, what do you think about the stock split? I don't really know. Not stock split, the buyback. Isn't buyback usually a positive thing?
As far as I'm concerned, it is. Because it's done for different reasons. But I mean, the way I look at it, if they're going to buy the stock back, that means that there's a chance that the price is going to increase, and so how can that be a bad thing? The issue with NVIDIA, and I actually had this on my list for today to talk about anyway, but the issue for NVIDIA is, despite the fact that they're up like 122% year over year, the problem is you can almost say they're a victim of their own success, because it's not really this is the problem with earnings in general. But you can smash earnings, but if you're looking at what could happen down the line in terms of your guidance, if your guidance is saying it's not going to be as much money, next quarter as this quarter, that could cause an issue. Or if you can only do triple digit growth year over year so many times until somebody's like, hey, this ain't gonna be possible. So there's a few things happening right there, in my opinion. But normally, a buyback is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Hello? Was I heard at all? Ma'am, what is happening?
I don't know. You said you can smash earnings, but what? I didn't hear anything after that.
Okay. Oh, they're saying that they heard me, but your screen was frozen. I was
Okay.
saying that one of the problems with earnings, just in general, is that you can smash earnings. You can smash earnings, but your forward guidance in what's looked at, could be upcoming.
Hmm.
If that's lower than what you have now, then that could be an issue. For Nvidia to be up over 120, like 122% year over year, you can only do triple digit growth year over year so many times,
Right.
and they know that. So it's kind of like, well, wait a minute, how y'all gonna do that again? How you gonna be able to keep doing it? That kind of thing. So I think Nvidia is kind of a victim of their own success in that way. But in their case, if they're gonna, because Apple also announced a stock buyback as well. So I mean, if you got the extra cash to be able to do it, I can't see why you wouldn't. I mean,
Right. So my thoughts are this: when they were, Nvidia was way up there, and they decided that they would have a stock split. That was to bring the price point down so that more people could invest, because that's the whole thing. You want more, you need more people to buy more, because if you're trying to have your prices rise, people basically got to keep buying it. So when they split, they brought it down where people were buying more, was starting to buy. And then now, as it's run up some more, you got to get people, either more people got to buy or the same people got to buy more. And some of the people who bought in really lower, they may or may not be buying more, but they're like, well, I can hold on to what I got because I got in at such a great cost basis that why buy more? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So not necessarily why buy more, but you don't have to buy to the same degree because you bought a bunch. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. But
and that's why I'm like, don't be splitting to make it more affordable for everybody else. Because the way I see it, y'all just ruined my options premium by doing that split. If they can't afford it, forget them. I need my options
oh my
premium to be
goodness, really, really,
high.
really. Okay. It says here, Intel's working with the bankers to present the board with strategic options. Come on, Intel. Y'all got too much stuff going on for y'all to be struggling like this. JetBlue, where are low cost airlines cutting back now? New planes. Let's hope they're not cutting back with new planes. Well, unless they're more fuel efficient planes, unless they're getting the plane that's going to do more, like it can do things cheaper. Alibaba jumps 4% in the pre market after it completes a 3-year regulatory overhaul. The Fed's favorite inflation indicator increased 0.2%. I think we're going to see some upwards movement today. I think we see upwards movement today. I was trying to show us SoFi, which, kicked in this morning, had a nice little dip, but it's starting to climb a bit. Yeah, come on, SoFi. For those, somebody in the impact group actually posted entry for calls. SoFi hadn't been mentioned for calls in a minute. It was back in this area that she did, and she was saying 8.5 calls for 920 might still be a good move. SoFi's trying to move, I guess, with the whole thing. Why does that camera? That's weird. Oh my goodness, what are we doing? Camera's still frozen. Let's change over. Camera just don't want to do. Assumption that you can still hear me.
Say it again.
Change. I said, I'm assuming you all can still hear me.
Yep, there's a bit of a delay, but I can hear you.
There we go. Green light. Green light. Okay, looks like we're good. Ah la la. Okay, SoFi. on the move. Maybe you look at it, see if it's something that's of interest to you. Let's go back to SPX this morning, see what it's doing. Oh, Jamie, go ahead. You were going to talk about your stuff because I'll be going to the chart. Go ahead.
Yeah. So really, we already hit the main one.
Okay.
That for today's tech talk, we got Nvidia and Apple doing stock buybacks. One thing that has not been discussed that much, and I was very surprised, the $1 trillion company, Berkshire Hathaway. I hardly ever hear anybody talking about Berkshire Hathaway. As a matter of fact, in terms of trading, I never hear about anybody trading Berkshire Hathaway in terms of like trading for income like we do.
I traded
Um,
it a little bit. It's been a year back now, but it was not like something that was good to trade.
and I was gonna say, I remember looking at it, and I was like, I didn't like the premiums.
Yeah,
So
that
I
was
was
my
like,
thing too.
but I said again,
That was my thing too.
yeah, it was like I think it was like a one spread, but it just really didn't do any moving. But I hadn't checked again, and at the time they were saying that it was a valuable company that it might hit a trillion, but apparently it's there. And it arrived there for Warren Buffett's 95th birthday. So
Oh,
he's
okay.
up, yeah, he's up there with Methuselah now. So but a
Methuselah.
trillion $1 trillion. Now the other thing that's going on that could impact us is that French prosecutors, and I 100% disagree with this. They are charging the Telegram CEO, Pavel Durov, with enabling criminal activity on Telegram. Because apparently,
Really?
yeah, because apparently they're saying that he's failing to stop people from abusing Telegram, like illegal doing illegal stuff. And I'm like, this dude cannot any social media platform. You cannot, not even social media, but you can't predict human behavior. You can't police
Right.
random human behavior. I don't care if you Meta, Twitter, Craigslist, any dating website, anywhere you got human beings congregating anonymously, they're gonna act a fool. So it doesn't, right. I mean, these same complaints probably came with MySpace. Like, it doesn't matter, And so I don't think any big tech should be getting, because you got to think about that. If you're a person listening to this call and you create an app, regardless of what the app is, but it has a component where people can, talk to each other, message each other or something, post publicly. Now you're gonna be, now you got to be concerned about even having that because of what other people might do. It's like,
True,
no,
true.
I created the platform for people to keep in contact, but I didn't create the platform solely for these fools to do drug transactions. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
um, it's the kind of same thing along the lines with like Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin is for criminals. That's not what
Ah,
it's designed for.
right, right, right,
Didn't make it for criminals.
right,
That's who might be using it, but they also use
right.
regular money.
Well, people could also say the internet is for criminals. It's not what it was designed
Exactly.
for. Yeah.
Exactly. So, to me, there's a lot of this. I hate to be on the soapbox, but it just annoys me when people, um, on the one hand, we're complaining that Big Brother is, watching us too much, but then we turn around and want these tech companies to police us. It's like, well, you can't
Yeah.
have it both ways.
Right.
You gotta pick one. And so, personally, I don't think that he should be at fault for something that he can't control. But we use Telegram, so that's how that popped up on my radar because that could be eventually an issue for us, depending on how they swing that in that direction. So, other than that, I really don't have anything else.
All righty. Sounds good.
Oh, you know what? I do. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If you are using Tasty Trade, if you are using Tasty Trade, I recently, due to some of our conversations with journaling, I recently found that there is a journal component with Tasty Trade, but the part that sucks is that it's only available on the web version.
Okay.
So it is very limited. But if you go into the web, matter of fact, if you use the desktop version and you in the top right corner, if you click like My Accounts, it'll take you to the My Accounts section. And if you go into trading on the left, you'll see the journal. You can click the journal. It's cool because, I mean, I'm going to start using the web version just so I can get in the habit of journaling consistently. But I kind of prefer the desktop, but it is there. Unfortunately,
Okay.
Thinkorswim's, think is it called think not think script. Thinkorswim has a notes version, but unfortunately it's not all that user friendly. It's called ThinkLog. Theirs is
Okay.
under if you go under for Thinkorswim, you go under tools, and
Mm-hmm.
ThinkLog is what they have, and it's
Mm.
not.
All the alerts show up here.
Yeah, you got alerts. You can put in your own. You can create a. Anytime you put notes in your trades, you can always go in there, and you can always access it.
Okay.
Also, if you put notes when you go to submit your trade, if you put notes in there, it'll actually a little symbol will show up when you go into your position statement, I believe, and you'll see like a little I think it's like a little bell or something. And when you click on that, it'll bring up your notes. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. But so you have different ways to be able to journal. But the the web version of Tasty Trade has it. There is something that's for you to be able to create something for Thinkorswim, but they could definitely improve that.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Gotcha. Thank you for that, Jamie. Our Tech Talk Friday is wonderful. So I got SPY and Triple Q on the screen. Triple Q is up here on the daily time frame. I'll bring it down to the 15-minute time frame because that's really what we look at more than a minute. But you can see here that it had a nice little pop drop open and doji. And so now we might have a little bit move. This is SPY, maybe coming back to try to come back to enter into the gap that was created in the jump up. Potentially there. Let's go look at SPX. It should look a lot like SPY, but let's go and see. Pretty much this is what SPX looks like this morning. It is gone. Y'all see how it hit that line? What's those lines? The pivot points. That line is pivot point. Those dots are pivots. Come back here. The dots are pivots. Went right up, pyong pyong, and turn back. This was a pivot right along here. You see, we're going, and we're not going further. The actual pivot point is here. The place is above. Supposedly, the thought is above the pivot point. You got room to bounce and go back up. Below the pivot point is that. But at this point, we're above the pivot point, and this may be this. I need to make sure that my colors are like more pronounced because this is purple. Y'all can't see the difference, but red is up here, and I think blue is down here. I need to make my purple one be like bright so that way we know. I think if I go here, you can see it better. You can see it better on here. It's a solid line. And the blue line is the actual pivot point. The blue one, the yellows are the resistance, so the support and resistance numbers. Now the ES is, I have both of these running at the same time. And I'm not sure if you all ever really watch the ES when you're watching SPX. I feel like some of you who are really like into the SPX probably do. But SPX follows the ES. So if ES is starting to make a move like it looks like it is over here, to the 30-minute candle, then that SPX will quote unquote follow that. So we see ES has kind of got some upwards motion going. This is futures, and then SPX can potentially come right behind it. All right. That can, for those who, really trade and watch SPX, it may be you watch ES as well. Tiva says Thinkorswim is starting to remind me of Meditech on outdated health record systems that is clunky and use horrible customer service, which it wasn't. Thinkorswim was not that way. Thinkorswim was always, I've always had a lot of positive things to say about Thinkorswim. I'm really not sure after we changed hands, things got a little dicey. Good morning, Drew. Good morning, Stacy. Things got a little dicey after we changed hands. And we're feeling the pinch, okay, that's what we got going there. I wanted to look quickly at the things that we are trades from the week, right? We put on all our credit spreads trades off of the list for the week. I'm going to go through and catch up how much money we talking about. CVS looks like it's down. Looks like that one we talked yesterday about CVS being breached, and it looks like it still is. We're down 90% here, which the only way it would be that. 56 is $57. Well, it's popping above. Come on, CVS, you can pop on above. If it goes on up, it's at $21. We took in 10, and it's currently worth 21. So even if you were in a situation, you decided, well, I took in 10 and I don't want to have to contend with it. You actually could close it where it is. You could always close a trade where it is. You can buy to close at any time. So that's CVS. Looks like several of the others, if you see my mouse here, is plus 70%. These are all in profits. INTC is there. IWM again is a different trade. That's a buy trade. Looks like same thing. The other one that's down 32% is Palantir. Palantir has that's a call debit spread, so that's not there either. And all the others are positive, right? I'm going to capture the money, make sure that we know what's going on with the money. But one thing I want to talk about today is because we look at our trades on one Friday with the next Friday expiration. We look on Friday with the next Friday expiration. Let me see which one of these do I have that I need opened up. There it is. So if you're inside of Peakbot, I use, when I create the list on the weekend, I use the Peakbot watch list to give me the stocks to put on there. I generate the strikes and stuff, but I use the watch list from here. So I figured this is good to use then on Friday to look for the subsequent Friday. We should look for the ones that have a low risk. If you're a Peakbot person who has an account with Peakbot, then you have access to the current watch list. Of course, you can use the alerts watch list. I don't think that one does like the low risk and high risk. I think it just puts it in the list. It puts it in the list based on the EV, not necessarily by the level of risk. But you can look here and see what you might want to look at for a subsequent Friday, right? Here we got IWM is showing bullish for the week. Tilt TLT, which is an inexpensive stock. I want to say it's nope, it's not. I was thinking it was here we go. 96, 90, 95, 96, somewhere in there. I thought it was looking about something different. Goldman Sachs is here. We've got all these are showing bullish. SPY is on the list for bullish. Might want to use this to say if I set a trade today for next Friday expiration on SPY instead of the day-to-day, because many of us do the day-to-day, but if we got SPY listed here, it could be potential for a weekly trade. Triple Q is here for the week. Workday, Pan W, McDonald's, here we go, AbbVie if you trade, but all the stuff is here, depending on what you're interested in. Netflix, Janae, are you listening? Netflix is on the list. It's on the bullish list. Netflix is bullish for between now and next week. PayPal is here, which almost all the financial things seem to have gotten a big boost off of this latest move with the interest rates. Affirm, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, PayPal, Square, all these places seem to be getting a boost out of that. Take Two, no, don't do them. United Health Group is here. So again, and you see, you got the trend, whether they're bullish or bearish. And then I'm scrolling because there's so many of these. Wow, there's a whole lot that are on the low risk and bullish. But Y'all know I love me a good neutral. Why do we go neutral? Iron condors. Da, da, da. Iron condors. Right? I'm going to look at XLE on our charts. That should make Jamie happy. He likes to look at the XLs. The premiums don't be all that, though. Sometimes the premiums don't give what they supposed to give in the XLs. Okay? Pfizer is here. Wells Fargo is here, and Intuit is here. And then we've got the bearish ones, Microsoft, Google. Tanya, you listening? Google is on the bearish list. Google, CVX, those are bearish. UPS, Devon Energy, all these are showing. Amazon is showing bearish. This is all low risk, though. This is all in the low risk area and bullish. And then it switches over from low risk to moderate. I stay on the low risk. I stay on the low risk area, okay? Because why not? We're doing credit spread. So we don't need a whole lot of all that. We need it to do its thing, right? So depending on what you're looking at, and if you don't have access to Peakbot and you're in my community and you want to ask what is it showing here, you can obviously go look. I believe you can look on the alerts as well. I don't know if the alerts will tell you whether it's low risk or whatever, but it will give you the trend. If you've got a stock you're looking for, it will give you the trend. All right, let's go. I said we're going to go look at XLE. We'll look at our it's like SPX still making its move up. XLE. Let's look on the daily chart because we want to look out for next week, right? These are trades we're looking at to enter today for next Friday and to let Theta help us over the weekend, right? We're using these. We're putting these trades on with next Friday expiration so Theta can help us over the weekend. Okay, what do we see here? I'm over here to
Can you go over the Janae is asking if you can go over the high risk ones again.
What do you mean the high risk one? She want to see what?
She said, what was high risk so I can avoid?
Okay. The ones that fell on the high risk area. Well, we got moderate risk and high risk. There's a lot. So, yeah, let's go down to the high risk because the moderate risk is in the middle. High risk is Upstart, Chewy, NVIDIA, Label, Run, Hood, Kava, TNA, VKTX, Affirm is high risk, Zim is high risk, Tesla's high risk, TQQQ high risk, Rivian, AMD, Reddit, LI or Lee Autos, Ulta is high risk. And I think some of this is high risk because of the volatility. Ulta just had earnings, so the volatility is going to be high. Dollar General, Coin, INTC, Affirm, ARM, W, Unity, CELH, Vert, ELF is high risk, Moderna, Billy, Marvel, NVDL, naming stuff that we hear about a lot. Sava, Invax, SOXL is on the very high risk. Oh, wow.
Now, high risk just means what? You might get breached?
Which means there's probably extreme volatility and you may get breached.
Okay.
But it does still say, even though it's very high risk, it does say it's bearish. So I guess you just have to watch and see if it does a hard turn back on you. SMCI is here. Lululemon, which is in earnings. Dell just had earnings. Some of these probably come out of the SOXS because they just had earnings. Okay. Was that, Janae and Jamie, was that cool as far as
I was just reading what she was saying. I was fine with it.
I didn't see EMPH. Let's see if I can find the ticker of EMPH. Let me see if I can just find it as a ticker. And can I grab the thing? Yeah, I can. EMPH is moderate. It's on the moderate list and it's showing bullish. EMPH is moderate and bullish. My biggest thing with EMPH is those premiums don't want to draw up, baby. And you can be in that trade. You're like, okay, we've been here for a few days. Go ahead and draw down so we can exit stage left.
Is
Don't be
is
trying to
the
hear that.
is the
It's
volume and open interest part of the reason for that?
I don't know. I think for whatever reason, I think EMPH has high IV implied volatility. So because it that
Oh,
implied and the bid ask spread is wide. So when you're trying to get out, you may be ready to get out, but the room between the bid and the ask is wide. So you may be asking for $10 to get out, but the close distance is like 5 to 20, and you're like, I just want $10.
oh,
You know what I mean?
okay,
So if
yeah,
you're asking for 10 and the bid and the ask are like 5 and 20, it has to come in there to get to your 10. So it's
gotcha,
frustrating to be on the
gotcha,
trade. You're
yeah.
like, Tiva said EMPH is like playing Frogger, also can't jump off the log. You cannot jump off the log at EMPH. Moderna, really. Yeah, Moderna, we used to trade Moderna all the time. When we first started trading, Moderna was our friend, what was that girl name? Mariah used to be in Moderna, boy. She used to work Moderna like a chicken bone. EMPH not gonna be helped by theta. Yeah, no, EMPH does not yield to theta. It does not yield to the theta monster. It will fight to the bitter end. EMPH is like, I'm not going down. It's no, but the premiums are so nice. You're like, I really want to be here, and it's like, no, you can be here if you want, but we're gonna be here a while. Just plan on staying with us. You ain't gonna be coming in here and jumping out, leaving me all quick and hot and fast. Nope, it's gonna be right. We're gonna be here a while. Okay, so if we're looking at XLE, I see as our iron condor numbers, we do have a gap down here. Let me see if I can do a little bit of charting right below where those wicks are. All of these gaps have been filled. Support is also down here at 88 and some change. Okay, so let's go look at what our numbers would possibly be if we were doing XLE. See what kind of premiums we might find. Maybe this one will be pleasantly surprising. We're looking for next Friday, so September the 6th. We're looking for Iron Condor, probability out of the money, 88.5, which put us below that. That put us below that bottom there, that support, and 92. So 88.5. These are 0.5s. So let's see, 88.5 and 92. I'm just writing it down at this point so I can keep the numbers in my mind. I'm not writing it down yet to keep it because we'll see. 88.58, that's looking kind of, I was paying $8 for a 5 spread. 88.5, 87.5. I'm not in love. $14 for a 1 spread on the put credit spread side. So that's 14. Okay, and then we'll go look at 92. 92, 93. Let's make it a 1 spread also. That's another $15. So we can put in $29 on XLE. You can put in $29 on XLE for an iron condor. Iron condor. Let's put a quick note right here so that way anybody who's, watching in the future or watching right now can see the note. Okay, we're doing call credit spread 92, 93. And put credit spread 87.5, 88.5. There we go. That puts you outside of this range here. All of this, puts you outside of all this range. That's actually not a bad, may not be a bad move. I've kind of gotten spoiled on iron condors though, because my triple Q iron condors pay $50. So, and that's 1 to 1 day. So it's kind of like, I want to like $30. I do. So I have to see which ones I can add on to my Qs and to go with that. And I like this one. I like XLE. What do y'all think? What do y'all think in the comments? Y'all go ahead and tell me what you think. Janae says, should the 50% mark be the threshold? Not that we agree to get out at, but my sim trade is just about there. But like we discussed, it'd be so hopium. I know. So yes, fit between 50 and 70. I mean, whatever you're comfortable with. The reason I didn't do a video because I've been researching why is it good to get out at 50, 60, or 70? Like, why not just wait? And really it's statistics that says the reason is that you got a better chance of being profitable if you jump out at the 60-70% range than if you try to hold that last 20, that last percentage, that last 20 something 30%. You got a better chance of being profitable more times over the course of more time. You got more opportunity to be profitable when you do that, when you get out. This is Intuit. Intuit is $627. I didn't know Intuit was rolling like that. Okay, so let's see what we got for the chart, because this is also on the bullish, sorry, on the iron condor, the neutral list. This is also on the neutral list. Let me see again. I bet the plus minus number on this mug is serious. It's got a gap up here that needs to be filled though. I bet the plus minus number is real. There's actually some support down in here, support and resistance in the middle. Right in there, 643. Ooh, let's go see what Intuit talking about on this option chain. Plus minus 21 between now and next Friday. That's not too bad. Plus minus 21 between now and next Friday. So if we're looking for 67, we can probably go up as high as, this is a 2.5 spread, which that is interesting too, to be a 2.5 spread in the $600 range. Usually by now they in the 5 spreads. If you wanted to go with 610, let's see, what did our chart tell us was a good support? Oh yeah, 610 would put us below this. We actually probably could go with 612.5. And then on the top side, we've got 643 and 650. Over here, we've got, 642.5. So 642.5. And again, writing this down just so I don't forget the numbers. And what did I say, 610 or 612.5. Let's see what kind of, what do you mean Fridays just count or you just get out? What do you mean? Listen, there's no financial advisors here. If you decide you want to sit in your trade all day, then go right ahead. I'm gonna harass you, but go ahead. Now, I'm really just kidding. Whenever you are comfortable getting out, then do that. And if you think it's gonna be fine for the day, then let it just run. You can do that. 610, 612.5 is paying $47. That's not a plus minus 20. Plus minus 20, the one will put us down in the lower 600s though. That's $47 on that side. And I had 642.5 is paying another. That's almost $100 for a 2.5 spread. I really am picking up my pencil this time. 2.5 spread, you take in almost $100. Ooh, that's not bad at all. That's not bad. Let's go look and see. Let's look at the chart one more time to see what kind of does INTU get wild, because I don't want you getting wild on me. You see here, this support is at 603. So if you wanted one more support, there's another one right in here. But if you wanted one more support between the two, there's actually 2 supports already. And there's another one right here. So you really could go. Let me go look at the trade. I got to look at the option chain a little bit closer now. Let me Let me get a little closer. To get a little closer here. This is 80% probability out of the money at 610 though. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good for me. Y'all know I be in the 70s range, like 70% probability out of the money. Put me in, coach. 610 is good. Let's see. Oh, that what I just looked at was 612. If we did 610, that's still $30 for a 2.5 spread. So that in itself is still good. All by itself, that's more than 10%. And you partner that with the other side. With the other side. Okay. Yes, Tanya. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Tiva was saying, I believe IV crushes when implied volatility decreases significantly, usually after earnings. Open volume is a number that trades in a ticker on a particular day. Volume may affect IV though. That implied volatility definitely comes from heightened activity and all that extra stuff happening. Earnings is something that will raise the IV. Something like what's the man's name? Jerome Powell speaking will raise the IV across the board. It's stuff like that. When there's high volatility events that are happening, or when the VIX is up. But after earnings, of course, that will crush down. I'm sure that volume plays its part, but definitely that high IV is what will keep a trade from drawing down for sure. Okay. Tanya, we got our pencil out. I'm going to have to go back to INTU. Okay, the other one I had on my list is Pfizer. It probably won't be as fun, but we'll go check it out. See what's over here on the Pfizer area. Ooh, you PDT hacking in the first hour in the first 45 minutes? You better go, boy. I think that was something you lock it from a previous day. I'm just harassing you. Okay.
Yeah, I put that in yesterday.
Mm-hmm. There we are. See how these are all these days. Pfizer's kind of been in the zone. Get in the zone. The Pfizer zone. We've got support here. It's been just kind of hanging out. Dancing around. So let's see if there's any money. Because generally, sometimes when it dances around in here like this, the premiums aren't there because that price action is what helps premiums too for us. We want to be moving a little bit so we can get some decent money on our premiums. So what I see for next Friday is it's gonna be tight. 28 on one side and 29.5 on the other. That's gonna be mighty tight. 28 on one side, $3 on a 50-cent spread, and 29.5, $6. No, we just came back from looking at $47 per trade. Pfizer should be high risk. It might be. Did we look? Let me go see if it's on our high risk because it might be high risk. Let's see if I grab this and come down and see if we find Pfizer on the list. Oh, it's showing low. Pfizer's showing low risk, which is what made me even look at it. Okay. I think I'd pass on Pfizer. That one doesn't look as attractive. Last one on my list is Wells Fargo. If you got something else you want us to look at, then y'all mention it. We probably got about 15 more minutes on the call. Got about 15 minutes. And then I need to turn into Casper the Friendly Ghost because my to-do list is way too massive. Way too massive.
Sidebar, can you do me a favor real quick?
Mm-hmm.
Can you go all the way to the top where it says accounts for you and click and see if you have a drop down at the top up there? Like I do on mine.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have two accounts there?
Yeah.
So check this out. This, I guess, would be considered another tip. What I'm about to do is, in my SIM, I didn't know that they give you two simulated margin accounts.
Yeah, I'm thinking, I know where you're going, and I think I'm interested. I mean, I think not that you're mentioning it. I know what I want to do too.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start trading two different strategies in
Yes.
those two.
Yes, and that's what
Um,
I need. I need that because, like I was saying, that whole list of what I had. Some of those trades are my own practice trades, and some of those are seller trades, and I want to be able to keep them separate.
yeah, and I don't know if you can add more, but once I realized what I was seeing, I'm like, I'm gonna split these strategies up. So then that comes
Good
with
idea.
it. So you, anybody got Think or Swim, that just came with it. I didn't do no click no extra settings. It was automatically there. So
Okay. All righty. Good point. Thank you for that tip. Okay, we're looking at Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo appears to be bullish, even though it's on the neutrals list. Putting us on some support and resistance. Speaking of charting, our charting challenge starts this weekend. If you're coming to the charting challenge, I'm gonna mention it again here in a minute. But if you come into if you want to hang out with us, we put together a whole list of the things, the topics we're gonna cover for the month of September, and it's nice. Actually, I'm gonna highlight that here in a minute. But we're gonna, if you want to join us in the charting challenge, join us over in the membership. All right. Wells Fargo. Let's go back to the single life. It's kind of tight too. 55.56 is the put credit spread side. And 70, ooh, that's really close. 59 on the other one, plus minus 1.5. And that's still fine. 59 and 56. 59 and 56. 56 is paying $7 negative. 59 is paying $15. So if you put them together, you could be over $20. I'm not as fond of that one as I was the Intuit. Look, Intuit. Now, oh, that's okay. I think I'm just going to stick with that Intuit one. I think the banking stuff, I wonder why Wells Fargo isn't moving like Bank of America and Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs. Why is it not moving with those?
as
Triple
far as I'm
Q,
concerned, it never has.
well, okay. You would think that all the financial sector, especially those big banks, would be moving together, though.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, but if you remember, and this, I'm not saying that this is the reason, but I will say Wells Fargo was always for maybe a good 5 year span. Every time you looked around, Wells Fargo was in the news for something
In the
bad.
news for something
You
bad.
know,
That's true.
oh, you opened up all these fake accounts. Oh, you know, it was always something that kind
Yeah,
of put them behind the ball, behind the
yeah,
eight ball, and it was stuff they was doing to themselves.
that's
So,
true.
you know, it could be just something that simple.
That's true. You're very right. Very, very right. Very right. Okay. Okay, so we got Triple Q. Again, Triple Q showed up on the bullish side of the list, on the watch list. So we're going to keep that in mind. But definitely had a good little reject back here a few days ago. And we've got support here. Minor pullback from that. I bet if I put the Fibonacci on it, it pulled back to a Fibonacci level. So yeah, I see 470. So let's look for, if we did Triple Q, we've been doing it every day, but what if we did it for the week? What if we look to see Triple Q for the week? What are your thoughts with that? I told you it showed up on the watch list for the weekly for SPY. The weekly watch list, it showed up. So the 6th is next Friday. And if we're talking bullish, we would go with the put credit spread side. Plus minus 10.5 takes us down to 460, 464, right? 464. 464 is a 79% probability out of the money. If you're feeling a little more aggressive, you can get up to 465 or 466. 465.66 is paying $19. 464, 465 is paying $17, and 463, 464 is paying $16. All very close for the week. Now, with that thought in mind, if SPY is showing bullish, SPX is probably showing bullish. Come on, filling in. Look at the 6th or next Friday. We've run a few strategies looking at SPX for multiple days, and Tanya says, no. We've done this, and it was Jamie, you remember it was I would say scary. It was a lot, because you like day after day, you're like, is my trade gonna be okay in 3 days? Is my trade gonna be okay in 4 days? 55.40.
You could never comfortably trade, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. You could never comfortably trade it. 55.40. It's a plus minus 82. That puts us at 55.40. $100 for a 5 spread over the week. We say, don't do it, Cletus. Don't do it, Cletus. You can look even for just over to Monday, because Monday would feel like at least you got over the weekend, and Theta would draw it down for you at least. That puts you at like 55 cents, plus minus 42 between now and Monday. Puts you at 55.80, 55.75, 55.80. There's $85, $95. That would be your $100. There's your $100 just over the weekend. Can we try? This is one DTE. I just did one DTE. So I pulled up, I looked at just one day, which would be Monday, right? And I went to single. If you want at least 80% probability out of the money, you got 55.75. Plus minus 42 here. So if you subtract 42 from this, you're at 55.80, which is in that same general vicinity. 55.75 or 80. Turn this to 55.80 is going to give you a few more dollars. $80 you got there. 55.70, 75 is paying $80. Now, I would give this one a little bit of time before I went in for the day. I would look around 11:30, 12 o'clock. Let the morning stuff chill out, and then I would look again for a 1 DTE. Okay? Definitely. That's what I think I'm going to do today. I'm going to look at SPX. I'm going to look at Intel. Charts. Let's look at Marvel. Oh, Ulta, weren't we? Did we say we were going to look at Ulta? Does anybody want us? Oh, I saw somebody who had something in the chat. BBY. Carmen said, let's look at BBY. They had earnings yesterday. What's Bath and Body Works? Oh, my stuff came. My little, I think it says Gateway. No, Getaway Soiree. I got a bunch of bottles, but I kept some of them on my desk. Oh, Cherry. This one is On the Horizon. And I'm feeling like a TikToker. And Petal Parade. These are the ones I like the best. But I got all the ones that are these fine fragrance mists. I got all of them because I wanted to see. They're supposed to be like dupes of the the real thing. Ain't nothing like the real thing,
Wait a minute.
baby.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What you mean dupes? That means knockoff.
Okay.
She gonna say okay, like, oh, no big deal. Okay, fine. All right. All
These are
right.
supposed to be lookalikes or
Mm.
smell-alikes.
Okay.
So
Smell like.
now that's what they say. So on TikTok they talk about them. So I got some. They were $5.95 a bottle. So I figured I would test them out and see if some of these fragrances I never even heard of the fragrance, the original fragrance, let alone the dupe. I'm like, who was that? Some of these I have, but many of them I had not even heard of. So I was like, well, let me try them out and see which one I like the most.
Lord.
This could be a gift you buy for your girlfriend, Jamie.
Is that right? So she can almost smell like how somebody actually smelled who bought the original product. That's what you trying to tell me? Hey, baby, I can't afford to get you the bottle that's expensive, but I'm gonna get you the almost one. I want you to smell almost as good as
Oh
that
my
other one.
goodness. Oh my goodness. So she can almost smell like what she's supposed to smell like.
All right, fine, fine, fine. I'm
Yeah.
on
Well, see,
board.
listen, if you buy her the whole collection, though, it'll be like you say, well, this is what you do. This is how you work it. You buy her the
Okay.
whole collection and let her test them all out, and then to ask her which one she really likes the most, and then you go buy the real of that one.
Oh, I got you. Okay, okay,
Right?
okay. That makes sense. That makes
There we
sense.
go.
So
There we go.
I can buy the imposter version for like Christmas, and then the one she liked for her birthday, like that.
There
That's
we
what you
go.
said.
There we go. There we go. You
Okay,
got to do it right. You got to do it right.
okay. So then our next step is gonna have to be to find me a girlfriend, do all this stuff for her. Then that way, this would be a full circle example.
Okay. So that means all the girls who are here, our task, should you choose to accept it, is to
Cancel
help
it. It
find
was a
Jamie a
joke.
girlfriend.
It was a joke. Cancel it. It's a joke. It was a joke. This is on replay too. I forgot we on replay. No, never mind. Never mind. We on replay
We'll
now.
put you. Why is there a girlfriend who finna come out the swoop and finna swoop out the woodwork and
No,
say, oh, you ain't got no girlfriend?
nah, we ain't gonna even do it because it can evolve into so much, man. It can evolve into so
It
much.
could evolve into a wonderful relationship.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm just thinking about the other half of those situations, like when you get to the end of that bottle and it's empty. Depending on how you was raised, like my dad, at the end of like a ketchup bottle, he would always put some water in the ketchup bottle to get the extra. So now you got water down. I might be too tempted to do that with the perfume if I like it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's just keep me single for a while till I'm mature.
I'm mature. Really? Until you mature. What are you talking about? Okay. Anyway, Ulta looks like it's in the gap. Ulta had a big old gap that was created, and it looks like it's in that gap now. It gapped down. This is a daily chart, yeah? So it gapped down. It stayed up outside of that gap all this time. Then it gapped down right into the middle of it. All right. Tiva says refill the real bottle with the fake bottle. My cousin met his wife online. I've told y'all how I met my husband. He called my house and he called the wrong number. That's how I met my husband. And then he called back a couple hours later. And he been calling ever since. Um, that was a lot of years ago. We've been married 16 years and been together around together about 20. I dropped him a couple times because I was like, get your life.
Hey, watch it now. That's my dude now. Wait.
I knew you was going to step in and come to his rescue. I knew that was coming. I knew you were coming to his rescue because you
Stand
always will
down,
step in.
stand down, stand
Stand
down.
down. Like pull up, Hoss, pull up. Pump your brakes. Pump your brakes, Hoss. So funny. So funny. Okay. Here we go. This is Ulta. Ulta's in this gap though, so it's probably going to be the bottom 33.29, and the top of this was 366. But we can take a quick look at what it's doing. I've passed the time I said I was going to be off this call. Oh, it's at a 5 spread. I'm not a fan of the 5 spreads as much as I used to be. I want to be able to do more, and my 5 spreads take away your ability to do more. Okay, but 345 at the bottom, and 370 on the top, 345 and 370. 345 at least is going to pay $85 for a 5 spread. And then what you do is the 370, you go over here and do 2 of these. So we had 85 over there and 50. So actually that's $185. Oh, it's looking a lot more desirable, isn't it? Ulta's looking a little more desirable. You do 2 of these and 1 of the other. I might have to get my pen back out. Let me go back to this chart again. Support, I got 330, but I think that, what did I say over here? I said 345. Yeah, that puts you closer inside that gap. Let me see. How'd I get 345? Oh, 345 is like right here. Right in the middle. Let me see if I need to do a little bit more good charting. Now, you know, you got the quartiles inside of the gap. So you to put like a 50% mark in here, like a halfway point. Should be about here. And it's above that now. Ulta is back on the list. I'm not a fan of that 5 spread, but it's at those premiums. The chase is everything. This is the truth. So true. All right. Yes, he continued chasing. Now I have to say that he continued, because because he'll be, if he was here, he'd be complaining about my version of the story, because our versions are close, but they're not. Our versions are not the same. His version puts him in a better light, and my version puts me in a better light. Isn't that the way it always goes, though? Isn't that the way it always goes? The person's version puts them in the best light. All righty. This week, or starting this weekend, actually on Sunday, we're going to do our September charting challenge is when it's going to start. It's going to start Sunday. If you want to join us on the charting challenge, feel free to do so over in the membership. I'm looking here for the list of things that we had on the list of stuff that we're going to cover. We got some good topics we're going to hit on our charting challenge this weekend. I'm not sure if y'all can see that. Let me make it as big as possible, because there's a lot of words here. Right? There we go. We've gone to candlesticks and chart patterns, support and resistance, supply and demand, gaps, trends, momentum, pivot points, talking about those. I keep mentioning those on my charts. Using the chart to time your entry as a buyer and a seller, using some indicators, chart alerts, like how do you set your alerts, the strat, we're going to talk about that a bit, charting of different time frames, multi-time frame analysis, or like a top-down analysis. And then how do you read the different time frames together so you don't get yourself confused with different time frames? That can kind of tie into the strat as well. And this is just the beginning of this is plenty, right? We got the month of September. This is a lot of learning that can be done on these charts. And we're going to go until we feel like we're there. This is not, even though it's a September charting challenge, because it's in the membership, it can go on over into October, right? We're starting it now, but we're going to keep doing it until we're going to do it till we're satisfied, till we think we got everything we need, or at least we've got ourselves some more master charters and some more master traders. Okay, we're going to keep doing that. That's over in the membership. We looked at the list of the trades for the week. I will put together the amount of money for that. And then now let's go ahead and do our declaration. I declare I'm a great trader. I declare I'm a successful trader. I declare I'm a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My accounts grow more and more each week. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I always make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. I declare I'm a level-headed trader who does not trade my emotions. Lord, that you gives us the power to get wealth. You teach our hands to war and our fingers to fight. Help us today to trade wisely and strategically. Give us more than enough so we can have what we need and enough to be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen. Um, Carmen says her dad did the same thing with the ketchup and the mustard. I'm out. I'm out. I know ketchup too cheap for that. But parents were trying to stretch. Or you just turn it upside down, the ketchup will fall to the bottom. Anyway, Jamie, you got anything you want to add before we wrap all the way up?
I would just say, be careful as usual. Make sure you check the charts. I know Russell has been kind of bouncing around in his range. It might have finally popped out, but so that means ain't no telling what's happening with SPX right now. So just be careful.
Well, let's go. We can look at it real quick. We can see what's happening on the SPS before we shut it down. Let me change the chart. Yeah, because you're right. Be careful. In the chat, I think I just put I'm looking at SPX, INTU, and Ulta for my trades for next week. Those are the ones I will look at, and I will talk about them I'm going to talk about them in the Telegram, so that way, if there's some interest, we may be able to find some joint interest. Maybe to find some together. Okay, maybe y'all might see something you like to. Where'd the SPX go? There it is. Okay. SPX. I want you all to trade wisely and make sure that you have a good weekend. Monday we're closed. Everything is closed. The market is closed. And so we will not have our Monday call. We will not have a call on Monday. We're going to enjoy the things people do on Labor Day. That's what we're going to do on Monday. This is SPX right now. It's green on the day. Let's go down to maybe a 30-minute chart. Run right up to that pivot and it pulled back, but it may be going to try it again to the resistance area. Maybe going to try it again. All righty. Jamie, anything?
Nope, that's it for me. I'm sorry. That's it for me.
Right, no problem. All righty, everybody. I want you all to have a great green day. I want you to stay green. Let's get this money. Enjoy your weekend. For those of you who are in the membership or coming to the calls, I will see you over the weekend. I will see you in the Telegram. For the rest of you, I will see you on Sunday at our live at 5. All righty. Everybody, let's stay green. Let's get this money. Goodbye. Bye-bye.